Let's take a look at the news shaping up the news conversation, the headlines shaping up the news conversation at this hour. We begin with today, which is back to school, where learners in basic education institutions countrywide will start the first term of the year 2025 academic calendar. This year, there will be no Form 1 intake, but instead the country will witness the pioneer cohort of the competency-based curriculum transit to grade 9. And according to Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Ogamba, the construction of 16,000 classrooms for grade 9 learners is 93% complete. We begin our live coverage with that report.
It is all systems go ahead of the 2025 basic education academic calendar, with grade 9 learners expected to be accommodated in primary schools. Construction of the 16,000 classrooms to accommodate them is at 93% completion.
Mpaka saa hii tuko na grade 9 na bado saa hii ninatajwa tu grade 9 na hatuna madarasa kufundisha au grade 9. Na hofu yetu kama mkazi wa Milalulu, grade 9, hiyo shule yenye haina grade 9, huyu mtoto wa grade 9 atasomea wapi?
Wazee hata hivi asubuhi walikuwa wakijaribu kutengeneza structure mahali waweke matope ili watoto come 6th of January 2025 watoto angalau wapate mahali.
According to Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Ogamba, whereas classes are not ready, alternative spaces within the schools and margin streams where class sizes allow will be used as temporary measures. The Ministry of Education says that 9,926,618 textbooks have been dispatched to schools countrywide. In terms of capitation, the ministry will disburse 48.4 billion shillings, which is 50% of the capitation due to schools this academic year. In Term 2, schools will receive 30% of the capitation, while the balance of 20% will be disbursed in Term 3. 4.1 billion shillings will go towards free primary education, 15.3 billion shillings towards free day junior school education, and 28.9 billion shillings towards free day secondary school education. On the safety of learners, the 348 schools whose boarding sections were identified for closure will be reopened only upon demonstrating compliance with safety protocols. Additionally, no school bus or vehicle ferrying learners will be allowed on the road before 6 a.m. and after 6 p.m. Parents and guardians are also being called upon to register under the Social Health Authority and to include their school-going children as dependents for appropriate health coverage. According to CS Ogamba, the Kenya Primary School Education Assessment Learner Report will be accessible to school portals in the week commencing on Monday, the 6th of January 2025, while Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education Examination results will be released in the second week of January 2025. The 2025 academic calendar indicates that the first term will run for 13 weeks until the 4th of April 2025. Learners will proceed for half-term between the 26th of February to 2nd of March. The second term dates are 28th of April to the 1st of August 2025, whereas the third term will run from the 25th of August to the 24th of October 2025. The Kenya Primary Education Assessment KPSEA will be done from the 27th of October 2025 to the 30th of October. Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education Examinations will be conducted from the 3rd of November 2025 to the 21st of November 2025.
In other news, President William Ruto says the country is now out of its troubled days. Ruto says his administration will now focus on transformation after economic stabilization efforts bore fruit, while the agricultural sector recorded improved yields. He was speaking in Kerio Valley during an interdenominational Thanksgiving service.
At the Kerio Valley, plagued by banditry and unrest over the years resulting into deaths. With normalcy in learning in schools resuming in over 26 schools previously shut down because of banditry, residents organized an interdenominational prayer service attended by President William Ruto. Responding to requests for government programs after the stabilization of peace in the region, the president exuded confidence that the country was already past its troubled days in the past 2 years of economic slump.
And I can now say confidently that the economy of Kenya is now on good standing. Ile inflation ilikuwa 9.6%, tumeteremsha sasa iko 2.7, 2.8%. Ile exchange rate ilikuwa imepanda karibu 160 something, sasa exchange rate iko hapa 129 ikiteremka chini. Ile interest rate ilikuwa na matatizo, sasa ndio hiyo imeanza downward trend.
The head of state says the country was edging close to the food security agenda, owing to government interventions that have transformed agricultural production.
Hapo sehemu kidogo imebaki. Nataka niwaambie Wakenya tuwe na imani. Roma haikujengwa siku moja. Kwa hatua tutakomboa nchi yetu na tuwe na amani kila sehemu ya Kenya.
Wakati umechaguliwa, kulikuwa na mambo mengi sana mabaya yalikuwa yanaendelea hapa. Lakini wewe hukuvunjika moyo. Ulitia bidii, ukaweka mikakati, ukaonesha uongozi mzuri. Siku ya leo ambayo tuko hapa, tunasherehekea kazi yako mzuri ambaye umeongoza taifa letu kwa kufanya.
Terming negative ethnicity as a major impediment that had torpedoed development in the past, Ruto said his administration is also focused on implementing government programs for posterity.
We have overcome what for many years held our country ransom, held our country hostage. The politics that looked merely at popularity for the next election, not the transformation of the next generation. The politics that focused on ethnic competition.
Mimi nataka kuomba hawa watu ambao wanatisha kila wakati ya kwamba waache vitisho baridi. Mheshimiwa Rais, wakati wa siasa ukifika, tutamenyana vilivyo. Mheshimiwa Rais, chini yako Mheshimiwa.
The president directed the resettlement of those who fled the conflict in the region to facilitate the reopening of 13 schools that are yet to resume learning.
Tutawapatia makao, tutawapatia mabati, tutawapatia chakula, warudi pale ndio watoto wetu wale wamefinyana katika mashule zingine warudi katika mashule yao.
You may have lied to other cabinet secretaries before. I want to tell you to your face, we know you, we know where you live, we know what you are carrying. We want to ask all the criminals who are roaming in this valley to make sure that the remaining few surrender every gun they have to government before we come for you.
And in other news, Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki has dismissed speculations about his absence from the public and working relationship with President William Ruto, saying he has taken 2 weeks leave to rest. Speaking in Mbeere, Embu County, during a church service, the Deputy President challenged the critics of government to offer practical solutions, even as they criticize government policies.
Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki, while at a Thanksgiving service at Full Gospel Church Kamumu, Mbeere North, Embu County, maintained all is well with his boss President William Ruto. The Deputy President dismissed speculation of a potential fallout, saying President Ruto had offered him 2 weeks leave during the festive season to unwind, but now he is officially back.
Mimi nasema nafurahia nimerudi kwa katika ile kazi ambayo sasa nimepewa. Likizo yangu ilikuwa ya siku 15 hivyo imeisha. Sasa ni kibarua. So watch this space. Watch this space. We know what the agenda is. We know the expectations of the people of Kenya.
Professor Kindiki further reiterated that the government is keen to deliver on all the promises made to Kenyans, assuring that all delayed projects will be implemented in due time.
Kazi ya kupiga kelele ni kazi ya mtu ameshindwa. When you are unable to articulate yourself, you make noise. Isn't it? When you are unable to persuade other people, you make noise. So musipigie viongozi kelele.
While calling out the critics of Kenya Kwanza regime, the Deputy President challenged them to offer practical solutions.
tuachane na siasa ya kupigia viongozi makelele. That is wrong, brothers and sisters. It is not right. If you are unhappy with a leader, there is a way of dealing with that leader. We cannot be a country where leaders are scheming against each other and paying young people money to make noise at other people. Na mimi nimeomba hao viongozi ambao tuko nao katika hii mambo ya siasa, mimi kusiwahi kiongozi wa kunisaidia kupangia vile kiongozi fulani atapigiwa kelele.
MPs accompanying the deputy president took a swipe at the former deputy president Rigathi Gachagua, accusing him of disrespecting elected leaders.
It was very low kuona kiongozi mwenye amai old position kama hiyo ya Kenya kuita viongozi, ukiita wabunge wa Embu wajinga, umetuita sisi wote wajinga. Na utajiita wajinga, umeita ile watu walichagua sisi wajinga, sababu hatukujipeleka bunge, tulipelekwa na wananchi in their own wisdom.
Yule mwingine kazi ilimshinda, kazi yake ni kutusi viongozi. Wewe ukikuja hapa utuambie ya kwamba Roko ni mtu mjinga, Mundigi ni mtu mjinga, hawa viongozi walichaguliwa hapa ni watu wajinga. Clearly huyu ni mtu ambaye anatusi nyinyi ambaye mmekaa hapa kwa sababu nyinyi ndio mlichagua Roko.
Kama wewe uko na hasira zako na mambo ya visirani, usituletee visirani yako. Please, na tuheshimiane. I repeat, tuheshimiane. Mimi heshima zote nimekupatia, but you must also respect me.
Until Saturday, when he attended a wedding in Limuru, the deputy president had not been seen in public 2 weeks, leading to speculation about his whereabouts.
Elsewhere, Archbishop Philip Anyolo of the Catholic Archdiocese of Nairobi has condemned the ongoing abductions in the country, calling for immediate action from authorities to end the crimes. Speaking during a church service at the Holy Family Parish Church in Mugumo, Kiambu Sub-County, Anyolo queried the government's inability to provide answers to the trend. Anyolo's remarks were backed by Reverend Canon Evans Omolo, the provost of All Saints Cathedral, who demanded a full report on the kidnappings.
In a passionate address at the Holy Family Parish Church in Kiambu, Nairobi Metropolitan Bishop Philip Anyolo condemned the wave of abductions and killings in the country in recent months.
Hakuna sababu ya kuweza kuchokoza na kuchokonoa maisha ambayo Mwenyezi Mungu ametujalia. Na tunaomba ya kwamba yeyote anayehusika kufanya hivyo, awe ni nani, hana uwezo, hana sababu ya kufanya hivyo, kwa sababu maisha ya mwanadamu ni Mungu tu ndiye anayetujalia.
Sentiments echoed by parish moderator David Nganga, who criticized the Interior's ministry's refusal to take responsibility for the abductions.
Niko na huzuni na niko na uchungu kuona watoto wetu wakitekwa nyara. Mzazi hajui mtoto wako wapi, watoto wao hajui mtoto wako wapi, na serikali pande hii inasema hajui watoto wako wapi. Tungeuliza hata wale wanaendeleza hayo mambo, mtu ajiulize kama angekuwa mtoto wake, ni lipi ungesikia ukiwa kwa roho yako ama kwa moyo wako.
Serikali yetu na kila mmoja, kila familia waweze kuchunga ya kwamba maisha ya kila mmoja wetu yanadhaminiwa na yanalindwa na yanasaidiwa ili ya kwamba tuweze kukomaa kama wananchi ambao tunaweza kusifiana katika maisha yetu ya kibinadamu.
Bishop Anyolo also condemned corruption in the government, but called on Kenyans to be proactive in the fight and take individual action to prevent its spread to future generations.
If there's anything that you are being involved in that is corruption, sio material tu, lakini hata mawazo ya matusi na kisiasa na kutukanana, huo ni ufisadi. It means your mind and your heart is corrupt, and when they are corrupt, they cannot wish anything well to the growth of our country and the growth of us as a nation, as human individuals.
The unresolved kidnappings was also a matter of concern in Nairobi, where All Saints Cathedral Provost Reverend Canon Evans Omolo called for a full report on the abductions.
We want to ask for a full report of who is behind these kidnappings, because these offices, the Office of the Director of Criminal Investigations and the Office of the Inspector General of Police, are public and constitutional offices, and Kenyans will hold you accountable.
Moving on, the Kenya National Highways Authority has officially reopened the section of the Nairobi Southern Bypass that has been closed since Tuesday, 24th of December 2024 for maintenance. Kenha Deputy Director of Corporate Communications Samuel Kumba says the repairs involved replacements of expansion joints on 3 sections, including Ole Sereni Bridge, Kibera Overpass and the Ngong Road interchange, after they discovered that the initial joints were failing. He added that the authority is facing the challenge of vandalism of street lights installed to prevent insecurity.
And now there's no any danger for the users of the Southern Bypass, which attracts approximately about 25,000 or so motorists every other day, and that now vehicles can move freely and comfortably. However, as we come back to the new year after the festivities, we want to encourage Kenyans to observe road signages. Do not speed to impress, because that again endangers not only the life of the driver, but also other road users. So we encourage good road behavior so that we do not lose lives unnecessarily on the road.
Elsewhere, an official from the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission was murdered on Sunday morning following a violent robbery at her residence in Utange, Kisauni constituency, Mombasa County. 48-year-old Aisha Abubakar was attacked by 2 armed assailants who broke into her house. Her 18-year-old son was injured and is hospitalized in critical condition.
According to the family members, the incident occurred at around 3 a.m. Sunday when the assailants scaled 2 gates to access Aisha Abubakar's residence before breaking into the house by cutting through the metal grills of the kitchen window.
My mom was attacked kwake nyumbani Utange, and the way it's vile inaonekana, these guys just wanted kumaliza mamangu, which they've achieved. So
wameruka kuta 2, wameruka main gate, wakaingia kwa gate ya pili ambayo ni ya mama, na kuna askari ndani Masai. So vipi, tumeshangaa kuwa wale wamefika paka kwa mama, wakakata grill ya dining, wakaingia ndani ya nyumba na wakafanya uhalifu.
The robbers ransacked the house, making away with assorted household goods.
Wamechukua vitu kidogo sana kwa nyumba. Wamechukua TV na kuna mkoba wa IIEC, wamerarua, wamechukua vitu zile zenye ziko pale ndani, wakawacha ile mkoba pale chini. Hawakuchukua tena kitu kingine zaidi.
The family is calling on the police to expedite investigations and ensure the perpetrators are brought to book.
Serikali ifanye bidii, hawa wahalifu wasimalize wa Kenya kiholela namna ile. Watafutwe vilivyo, lakini paka wapatikane. Wamemtoa mama uhai. We don't know why. We are sad.
Sisi as a family tuomba serikali ifanye bidii, wahalifu waliofanya kitendo hichi wapatikane, kwa sababu ni kitendo cha kusikitisha.
Sentiments echoed by Mombasa Senator Mohamed Faki and Kisauni Member of Parliament Rashid Bezimba.
Hatua za haraka kuhakikisha kwamba wale wamehusika wameweza kutiwa mbaroni. Na tunajua siku hizi polisi wana vifaa vya kisasa kuweza kuchunguza na kuweza kuwashika watu kama hawa.
Wafanye uchunguzi wa kina, kuangalia hata majirani kama kuna CCTV, kama askari ambao wako katika maeneo karibu na hapo wanaolinda majumba, kama waliona mtu yoyote ambao wanaofikiria kwamba anaweza kuwa anahusika, ili kusudi ili jambo likome, kwa sababu ikiwa hawatashikwa basi haya mambo yataongezeka.
The late Aisha was laid to rest at Kikoani Cemetery.
Fisher folk in Lake Victoria from Migori County have called on the government to enhance the promotion of cage fish farming as a solution to the growing fish deficit in the country. Details of this and more stories in the County News Wrap.
Sori Beach Management Unit Chairperson Hesbon Ouko noted that the drop in fish production in Lake Victoria is making it hard for thousands of fishermen and their families to meet their basic needs. Migori County government has provided fish cages, but the cost of feed and fingerlings is prohibitive.
Naomba serikali kama kuna njia mwafaka, njia ambayo wanaweza kusaidia wavuvi kufanya na cage, sio kazi rahisi kwa sababu ya kununua chakula ya samaki, sio kazi rahisi. 600 kwa junia kwa siku moja, wavuvi hawezi kufanya hivyo.
In order to conserve Kenya's marine ecosystem, the SBM Bank spearheaded a cleanup exercise at Diani Beach. The exercise mopped up 172 kilograms of plastics and 47 kilograms of glass waste from the beach.
Everybody who visits the beach, I'd like them to make sure that they don't come with single-use plastic bottles. These should be disposed elsewhere. They should not be brought to the beach because we've seen the effects of that on marine life.
In Kiambu County, police are searching for a herder who is suspected of stealing and slaughtering 22 cows belonging to his employer in Dengoini, Ndeya, and dumping the cow hides and hooves in Kijabe forests.
Na hata waleo kutoka jana tujapata hata moja, ni mangozi na kichwa. Hasara ni kubwa ya mamilioni ya pesa. Siwezi ng'ombe 22 ukihesabu ng'ombe moja na naite na mandume na mea ni mamilioni ya pesa.
And in Kirinyaga, police officers gathered at Kerugoya police station for their delayed end-year party as they were officially engaged during the festive season. Members of the public were asked to emulate the business community who had cooperated with police in enhancing security in the area.
Wananchi pia nyinyi information patiana information, mkipatiana information hiyo small hiyo cases ziko tutamaliza. Vile magistrate amesema cases mingi ziko hapa ni shamba na succession, na hiyo ina take process cause once mkimalizana kotini mtumie sisi eviction order inarudi kwa sub county kwanza waangalie, wakuja waangalie, ikipande ikuje kwetu pia. Sisi kama hatuwezi tuna escalate inaenda juu.
Let's now switch gears to Matter Sports, where the Kenyan football fraternity came together in a show of unity during a soccer tournament held to celebrate the life and times of former Kenyan Premier League player, the late Ezekiel Otuoma. Otuoma, a former striker with several local league clubs, among them Ulinzi Stars and Muhoroni Youth, is set to be buried on 11th January in Gem, Ramula, Siaya County.
The tournament, dubbed Wadau for Otuoma, was graced by 30 teams, which consisted of former and active players. The football community is yet to come to terms with the loss of the player whose deeds they extolled.
Tumekuja kumpatia ile support. Na umeona vile watu wengi wamekuja, inamaanisha pia football tuko pamoja. Na hiyo unity ndio tunataka kama footballers. Tukue united na kukikuwa na shida, kukikuwa na raha, tukue pamoja, tunasupportiana. Amechezea timu kubwa hapa Kenya, na ni mtu tunajua alikuwa competitive, ni mtu alikuwa professional, so tunamkumbuka kwa hiyo, na ni pole sana kwa sababu Kenya tumelose big player.
Na wamekuja hapa, wengine walikuwa wameona labda 10 years ago, so wamepatana hapa, so you see football ina unite people, na tusikue tu tunafanya hii kwa sababu ya mwenda zake, but pia inafaa vitu kama hizi kuleta watu pamoja, wachezaji wa kitambo na pia ma legends kuleta pamoja.
Otuoma passed on December 31st after battle with motor neuron disease and had playing stints with Ulinzi Stars, Muhoroni Youth, FC Talanta and Western Stima.
Otuoma alikuwa mtu friendly na alikuwa na mabeste wengi. That's why unaona watu wengi wametokea, madem, machali.
But I'm glad to be here, to be part of his send-off tournament. I'm sure wherever he is, he's glad we're doing this.
Mjua for a very long time, kutoka enzi zenye tuseme akianza pia ball. Juu naweza sema tumecheza ball pamoja kwa level ya chini, na alikuwa very determined. Alikuwa very disciplined na determined na very talented. So it's a very sad thing that alipata ugonjwa yenye hatuwezi pata usaidizi.
Toma, proceeds from Sunday's football tournament held at Absa grounds in Nairobi will be channeled to settling the burial expenses.
Toma in his playing career hakuwahi cheza testimonial match ile ya kuaga kwa sababu alikuwa mgonjwa na akawacha kucheza. So this one we are using as a testimonial match. Alafu pia tunachangisha pesa. So far watu wana target 3.5 million. So that is what watu wanatafuta kwa sasa hivi. But so far naweza sema we are halfway the budget here.
But well, and on that note, we wrap up. Good morning. Kenya news at this 6th day of January 2024. By a quick one, Liverpool and Manchester United last night played to an 2-2 draw yesterday night. Many thanks for joining us. My name is Ben Troy. Do have yourself a blessed day and a fruitful year ahead.